Hello and welcome to a brief video tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be looking at the iris settings for the Panasonic AVCHD HM70 video camera. Now in the previous video tutorial we've just set the focus to capture an image of this island of Lego. Now I've also made reference to this video camera unfortunately not being as clever as human beings. We have to quite literally tell it what we want it to do. And it's going to try and see things exactly how we see things, but not being as good as a human eye, we're also going to have to help it along the way. So the first thing was we've corrected the image so it's no longer blurred and it's now focused correctly. If we go over to the image, you can see that the viewfinder is actually a little bit dark. We're in a very dark room, okay? And I can see that that is very bright because my eyes have opened my iris up and it's allowing more light to come in to my eyes. So I can now see very clearly. Unfortunately, this video camera cannot. So what we need to do is, like our human eye, we need to open our iris so it can let more light in. How do we do that? Well, we're going to be concentrating here on these this bottom control panel, okay? And we're going to make sure that our camera setting is in manual, which it is. And I'm going to push this down again, and you'll see on the viewfinder we're going to get a little tiny diagram. See this little tiny diagram? Now by default, the first time you push it, it will come up MF-, MF+, which is connected to the manual focus. We don't need that because we're already happy with our manual focus from a previous video tutorial. Now what we're going to do is just push this switch one more time and you'll see the viewfinder change. This time it's changed to a completely new diagram with different options on. We've got a WB, which stands for white balance, SHTR, which stands for shutter. We've got 2/2 next, which is connected to frame by frame, or rather frames per second, which we're not going to get into. And then we've got the word iris, and that's exactly the function we want to push right now. Now you can see that the iris is on the left-hand side of this 4-button diagram, and this relates to this function, the control panel. You've got a mirror of the 4-button diagram here. And we're going to push the left-hand button because the left-hand button is the iris settings. When we do that, we've got a iris minus and an iris plus. Basically, if you want to open the iris, which is what we want to do, you push the plus button. So I'm going to push that and you'll see from the viewfinder that it will get brighter. There we go. And that's because we've opened our iris, which is fantastic because we're filming inside. However, if we was filming outside and it was a very bright day, we might need to close the iris a little bit and let less light in to the camera. So that's basically how to set the iris, and it's a very, very important thing to do. Now there is an extension to this video tutorial, and that is about using the zebra function, okay? And I do encourage you to look at that because that can be a good guide on how to set your iris settings. That's the zebra function.